But Natasha Phiri is our senior reporter, also watching developments in and around UNISA's main campus. And she, in just a moment, will get us a sense of what she is seeing from her vantage points, given the many people she's been able to speak to since the start of this morning, including some of the analysts who are taking stock of what's taking place so far. Natasha, I'm hoping you're able to hear us. Where are you now? What are you seeing and hearing as we start day 2 of this national convention?
Well, Ayanda, we're actually behind one of the plenary halls, and of course, the proceedings have actually, started. Of course, today is a crucial day because reports from the various themes that were discussed yesterday and today need to be consolidated. And of course, is that all, important selection of the secretariat and the committee that will then steer this process forward, moving into a national dialogue. But Ayanda, I just want to bring in our colleague, Maswele Ralbona, who is from the specialist, he's a specialist researcher, and of course we'll be speaking about the overriding themes that we saw delegates discussing yesterday, those 1,200 delegates, and of course consolidating them, Ayanda. Well, Maswele, thank you so much for joining us. You were here yesterday, you joined some of these commissions, you saw what people had to say, and of course me and you were just talking off air that these issues that they had raised are actually in the NDP. Let's just properly focus on land reform. What do you think about that?
Thank you, Natasha. When you look at the themes, when you look at the discussions, when you look at the NDP, when you look at where South Africa is today, almost everything that is being raised here is something that South Africans have been having a conversation about. There's actually nothing new to me when you look at. I attended one of the commissions under the theme inclusive growth, and then when you are listening to what people are coming in with, you realize that everything that people are saying is already a national dialogue, whether on Twitter, on social media, whether in taxis, public transport, or wherever people are seated. You find that these are themes, these are issues that are facing South Africans. The fact that corruption also breeds crime, the fact that corruption breeds construction or whatever mafias, the fact that corruption robs people of their basic services. These are the issues that people are talking about. Going back to land reform and rural development, for example, these are issues that people are also talking about, to say when you look at the issue of rural development, you find that it's in the papers, it's in the logos, it's in the discussion documents, we even have a department dedicated to that. But when you go deeper into the rurals in the Eastern Cape, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, everywhere, you find that there's little that is being done, from roads, from water, from all the basic resources. They are almost channeled into the big cities, where even people there are complaining, but rural areas are neglected generally.
And just on this issue of crime and corruption, I like the fact that you touched on that. There's also a message and some sentiments inside where people have raised their, dissatisfaction in our institutions, in institutions that are meant to actually prosecute people who have their hands in the cookie jar, Maswele. And it also comes at a time where, we've got commissions now. There's now this recent commission, the Madanga Commission, that's supposed to investigate the allegations that were made by Ntantla Mkhwanazi. In terms of, accountability measures, do you think, and do you get a sense from these delegates that indeed this national convention or the social impact compact, I beg your pardon, that's supposed to come out of here will somewhat also have those accountability measures perhaps?
You mentioned one of the obstacles that people see, of the issues that people see in the country right now, the commissions. Today is the commemoration of the Marikana Commission, Marikana massacre, and then we had the Falam Commission, which was the Marikana Commission, of which it sat for days. Monies were spent, and today we are sitting here. Nobody has taken accountability for what happened in Marikana. The widows are still seeking for justice. The children of the victims are still, the children which becomes the victim of that crime that was committed there, becomes the victims of the Marikana massacre. Today, Nobody is serving jail time for that. It's almost 13 years. It's 13 years as we speak, but nothing had happened. Nobody has taken responsibility for what happened in Marikana, which tells you that these commissions, when people say we don't get anything from commissions, the Mkhwanazi, there's now the Mkhwanazi commission, if I may call it that. There's been other commissions. The Zondo commission, just a few weeks ago, former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo was speaking at the SACC conference, where he mentioned that he had to sit and shown other people who were implicated in his commission, and found that they must be investigated. Instead, the same people were brought in front of him to say, take this person, this person becomes an MP, this person becomes a minister, you know. So he was complaining. So if the former Chief Justice is complaining, you can imagine what that is down to the ordinary people on the ground, you know.
Masole, thank you so much. Very insightful conversations here, Ayanda, that Masole is actually highlighting what people have actually raised here, at the National Convention. Of course, he also mentioned something very important, that as we wrap up the second day of the National Convention, Ayanda, there's also the 13th commemoration, or the 13th anniversary of the Marikana massacre. Ayanda?
All right, Natasha, Phiri, for that. Thanks very much indeed. Natasha reporting from the UNISA's main campus here in Pretoria. That's where a lot of what's taking place as we start day 2 of the National Convention is unfolding. The program, as I mentioned earlier, was meant to have kicked off by now, but you can see, I suppose, reminiscent of what happened yesterday, some of the delegates singing as we try fill the space, I suppose. Today, the main objective is coming up with this interim structure that is going to, in some ways, help us chart a way forward on the other side of this particular gathering. So stick around with us here at UNISA's main campus. We'll certainly keep a close eye on what's taking place and get you those updates as soon as there are any major developments.